You wouldn't build a house without a foundation, so don't build your business without one. This is Mindset Monday, where we lay out the tools, frameworks, and mindset you need to scale your contracting or trading business today. There we are. All right. Welcome back to Mindset Monday. I'm your host, Gerritt Bake. We are here in conjunction with our good friends over at Contractor Plus. Listen, we're super excited because we're working on some stuff on the back end here that is going to help you be a more organized, but ultimately profitable contractor, right? And then remember, this is the name of the game for you. A lot of people think that they want to make dollars, but the truth is you don't want to make dollars. The truth is you want to keep more dollars. The only way you're going to keep more dollars, get more organized. Contractor Plus is the CRM that helps you do that. Build Pro, the operating system. And together, they're your ticket to success. You guys know the drill. If you're here with us live, go ahead and drop your name and your business name in the comments and your location, of course, so we can give you the good old shout out. On a great company. Let me see here. We got any? Nope. Nobody yet. All right. Now, I wanted to talk about employees today for a couple different reasons. The first reason, and it might be obvious, but it is what it is. The first reason is nobody taught you how to hire, right? And the second thing is, well, what are good employees looking for, right? So it's kind of like both sides of the coin. And I really want to dig into this because what I've started doing recently is helping a lot of our clients figure out the whole idea of the hiring process, but from both sides, right? Because if I ask you right now, okay, how much would a foreman run you in your neck of the woods, Connecticut, Utah, Arizona, Colorado, wherever you are? How much would a foreman run you an hour, right? Some of you guys would say, I don't know, $30 an hour. Some of you would say $50 an hour, right? But what's the real number that you have to pay attention to? We're going to talk through that. So we got a couple of folks here with us live. We got Jesse from Jesse James Outlaw Electric, Grantsville, Utah. Welcome to the show. We've got Mark in Connecticut, Modern Electrical Services. Welcome to the show as well. Again, if you're here with us live, go ahead and drop your name and your business name, and we'll give you a nice little shout out. We've got Mick44. Yes, no idea who you are, but hello to you too, my friend. And then we've got Motivated Laborers, says peace. Welcome. Okay. Now let's get into this thing, right? Employees can be your biggest headache or your biggest asset, right? Now think about that. What would make them the biggest headache? Well, probably because you don't know what you want them to do and they don't know what they're supposed to be doing. Biggest headache. Biggest asset, clarity around roles, clarity around responsibilities, clarity around expectations, and ultimately holding them accountable, right? So this is the game that we're playing. The clearer that you can be, not just about what you're looking for in an employee, but ultimately how to hold them accountable, the easier it's going to be for you to have success with that employee. But I want to start with the other side of the coin, which is, what is it that employees are looking for? Okay. What is it that employees are looking for? Now, let's see, over the last probably 2 years, I've been involved in over 50 hiring processes, right? With different companies. Okay. And they're looking for, anything from a laborer to a controller, right? We're talking like low level to high level. And the common theme around that, okay, is this idea of, what is it that the employee wants? Because most of us, what are we going to do? We're going to go to Google, or we're going to go to ChatGPT. We're going to go somewhere. We're going to go, how much should I pay a foreman? Right. And they'll spit out this nice round number. Hey, it's usually $35 an hour and this and that and the other. And you're like, great. And you throw that in your job description, and out it goes to social media, Indeed, ZipRecruiter, wherever else you're posting this job. And then you get into the process and you're like, why am I not attracting the good candidates? Like, why is this becoming so hard? Well, I'll tell you why. Number one, most important thing, it's not about the position, right? It's how much you're willing to pay for that position. In other words, how much are you willing to pay to solve the problem that you're experiencing right now? And the number is not the same as the going rate for the position in the open market, right? Because your competitors are paying that rate. Now, some of you are in rural markets, and I get that. Guess what? It doesn't change. You have less people. Therefore, in order to attract the high quality people, the best employees, you're going to have to compensate them a little better. Now, what does compensation look like? It's not just hourly pay. It could be anything from, hey, we only work Monday through Thursday, to here's our bonus structure, to, hey, we pay overtime, and this is what our structure looks like, to take home vehicles, right? There's a lot of different ways to structure this, what we call offer for employees. But at the end of the day, you have to determine as the business owner, what is this problem worth to me, right? And the problem could be supervising your field staff so you don't have to be out there anymore, or running your office so you don't have to answer these stupid questions all day long, right? The idea for you is, how do I put the right people in the room with me that actually help this business grow? Now, I didn't mention this at the beginning, but I do want to mention it here. For those of you who are afraid of hiring, either your next person or your first person, understand this. The only way that you're going to get into a place where you don't have to work in the business anymore is by hiring people. So whether you feel comfortable with it or not, understand that that's going to be the case. Okay. Now, we got a couple people. We got JS Nieves says, good day, Nieves Brothers Construction out of San Francisco Bay Area. Now, this guy, I'm going to put him on here. Normally I don't, but I'm going to put him on here, right? He says, bro, no one even cares about this. Not trying to be rude. Just saying, when you get a chat start going. No idea what you mean, my friend. But hey, we're just happy you're here hanging out with us on this Monday afternoon. We got Julie here with Burton's the Plumbers in Pink. Hello, Julie. Okay, so let's go back to this thing. Okay, so number one is the compensation package. In other words, from an employee's perspective, why would I want to come work with you? We like to think as employers, we have the upper hand. It's not the case anymore. I need to drill this into your head. You don't have the upper hand anymore. Unless you have a really great culture, you have really great compensation, right? And you have people who want to work for you. You got that? Okay. Now you have the advantage, but most contractors don't. Okay. So here's the key. Okay. Number one, most important thing for you, the compensation package. Remember, it's not what the market is willing to pay for an employee. It's what is it that you're willing to pay to solve the problem that you're experiencing, right? Like right now, I'm paying an office admin $25 an hour. I could pick up an admin for $18 an hour, like all day, every day. But at $25 an hour, I'm getting someone who has experience. I'm getting someone who has, a proactive attitude. I'm getting someone who's a little more established in this game. Does that make sense? And that's the game. Whoa, look at that. We just got fireworks going. I have no idea what just happened, but that was cool. But that's the game that we're after, right? We want to be in a position where we're able to attract that higher level talent. Okay. We're working with a plumber right now who's in the middle of this hiring process, and he's hiring an apprentice, which is we call them FNGs, right? It's a new guy, but he's also hiring a journeyman, right? Which is a much more experienced person. And I asked him the other day, I said, what is his position worth in the open market? And I forget what his number he said. And I said, but how much is it worth to you? Like, you literally spend 3 hours plus a day driving, 3 hours plus. How much is it worth to you to be able to sit in an office and actually work on the stuff that grows the business, right? That's the number, but that's the compensation package that you have to be thinking about, right? And by the way, if you guys have any questions about what a potential compensation package could look like, or what you're thinking about offering someone, you can drop it in the chat. We'll talk through it. I have no problem with that. Okay. So number one, okay, what is it that I'm willing to offer for this position? Okay. Number two, and I kind of glossed over it shortly before. Number two, employees want to be in a place where they feel welcomed. Now, I don't mean that this needs to be a kumbaya, everybody hugs it in the morning and we circle up and we, cross our legs on the floor and we meditate. Listen, if you got that culture, great. But I'm not saying that has to be you, especially for contractors. You're a little like, I don't like this woo-woo stuff. Great. You still need a culture. But what does that culture look like? Okay. Now, your core values are what will set your culture. Your core values set your culture, right? So for us, for example, number one, our first core values, have fun. Why? Because I've been in the working game, right? Since I was 18 years old, right? So I won't say how many years, more than 30. Okay. We'll put it there. And what I've understood is there's been environments that I love to show up to work early and I love to stay late, even though I wasn't getting paid. Right. And there was places where I would show up right when I was supposed to, and I would leave as soon as I could. Right. Why? What was the difference? The difference was the culture. Okay. And so for us, having fun is our number one core value. I want you to come in and laugh and joke. I want you to send me a meme. Like, we want to have fun inside of this. If you've ever been to one of our workshops, we have fun, whether it's shooting guns, whether it's shooting paintballs at each other, whether it's riding side by sides or snowmobiles or fishing. Like, we love to have fun, right? And so that's what starts to create the culture. Number two for us is do the work. Yes, you can work hard and have fun. And we combine those two together. Okay. Number three is do what you said you're going to do. It's accountability. Right? My job is not to tell you what to do. My job is to get you to commit to something. And once you commit to it, now I can hold you accountable. And number four, go the extra mile, right? Whether that's open the door for an old lady, you got to stay late and clean up the office, like whatever the thing is. Okay. And so we've created this culture that attracts the people that we want to be here with us, right? With our commercial construction management company, we literally when was it? On Friday, I went down to this town here close. And what started off as a job walk, right? 2 hours later turned into becoming a partner. And I don't mean a full partner. Don't get that wrong. Our scope of work is framing, paint, and drywall. That's our scope of work. So partner in that area in a potential $250 million project. Why? How? Well, because I showed up for the job walk, and guess who else showed up? Our subs, because of our culture. And guess who else was there from other companies? Nobody, just us. We were the only ones that showed up. And because we showed up, we got those additional opportunities, right? Why am I telling you this? Because it sounds obvious, but it's not to most people. Okay. You have to build your culture. And by the way, if it's just you and your spouse or you and your assistant or you and your apprentice, the culture starts now. So build the culture. By the way, with subs, which is, we have internal employees here at Build Pro, but we also have our management company where we have subs. So we have both of them. You can have a culture with subs. You can have a culture with employees. In fact, my challenge for each of you is to establish that culture today. Okay. Now, what's the last thing that employees want? I'll tell you this. People don't leave companies. They leave leaders. Okay. They want consistency. They want accountability, and they want direction. They don't want chaos. They don't want to guess. And they don't want every day that they show up to, excuse my French, walk into a shit show. Where are we going today? I don't know. Yesterday we were over here. We're not done, but we may end up going over here because that's normally what happens. Where are we supposed to meet this morning? I don't know. What about you? What time are we getting off? I don't know. And it just turns into a mess. So when I'm talking to you about this, you have to understand. People want to be led. They want to be led by a leader, right? Not by somebody. And again, I'm not here judging you. I'm just going to throw out there what I see. They don't want to be led by someone who doesn't know what's happening, doesn't know what needs to get done, and is constantly changing the game plan, right? They don't want to be led by somebody who treats them like an hourly employee instead of a partner. They don't want to be led by someone who gets angry all the time. They don't want to be led by someone who can't make a decision, right? So I'm saying these things not because I want you to be feeling bad right now going, oh, he's talking about me. That's irrelevant, okay? What I'm talking about is what employees are looking for. In fact, what the best employees are looking for. You can bring somebody, ready? You can bring somebody on board to your team for less pay, less compensation that they're getting at the $100 million, dollar a year company. Because you provide clarity, you have a great culture, and you give them the opportunity to grow into something bigger than they ever would have at the other company. Because they're not looking just for pay. Does this make sense? Now, how many of you, and I would like to see by show of hands or in the comments, how many of you are currently in the hiring process right now or will be hiring in the next few months? Go ahead and drop it in the comments. You're hiring right now or you're going to be hiring in the next couple of months. We've got Edward with ES Handy Services out of Florida. Welcome to the show. And Matt with Beckel Electric, out of Illinois. Welcome. So how many of you guys are hiring? Go ahead. Don't be shy. I know you guys are hiring in here. How many of you guys are hiring right now or will be in the next few months? Okay. We've got our third employee just started today. Ooh, Jesse, that's awesome. Julie says, hopefully by the end of this quarter. Yes, 100%. Okay. That's great. And then we've got Sean says, always hiring, even if we don't need them right away. Well played, my friend. Well played. This is like next level, by the way. Yes, to everything you just said. Love it. Love it. Love it. Okay. So let's recap this thing. Okay. Because it's cool for me to talk about stuff, right? Because I talk about stuff every Monday, but I want to get down to the nitty gritty. Okay. So right now, think about what we talked about, right? We talked about the package, if you will, right? The compensation plan. Like what am I willing to pay to solve this problem? That's what people should do for your business, not add more problems, solve a problem. Okay. And then we start talking about what you're willing to compensate them for, right? What's the package? We talk about what is it that you need as far as a culture. And then we talk about, okay, leadership. Okay. These three things. How many of you guys feel like you got these locked in? And Shawnee, thanks for throwing me for a loop there. It's Shania. Hello, Shania. Right? You're throwing me for a little bit of a loop. Okay. How many of you guys think you have these three locked in? You got a comp package that makes sense for the employee and for you, not just you. Makes sense for the employee and for you. Have a strong culture that's going to attract and retain these people and have really good leadership, right? Where you're willing to challenge these people, give them clear direction, but also reward them based on their work, right? I've told this story before. Some of you heard it, some of you haven't. My assistant, who's been with me now for almost 6 years, beginning of last year, she said, hey, I want to buy a car. And I was like, that's great. She's like, I want to know what I need to do so I can get this down payment. I think it was an extra $5,000 to buy this car. And I was like, great. And so we sat down and we worked through it. And she busted her butt for 8 months. And then last September, she was able to buy her first car, right? Which is awesome. And then in February, she moved into her new apartment, right? And now we're working on, it's a multi-year plan, but we're working on her first house. Why do you think she'll never leave here? Is it because I pay the most? No, it's not. Is it because I'm the coolest guy? I would like to think so, but no, it's not, right? It's one, we created a package for her that made sense, okay? I leveraged the culture that we have inside of here, have fun, but do the work. And then we gave her the opportunity for clarity around her role, her responsibilities, being held accountable, but knowing that there's something there at the end of that rainbow for her. So this is the challenge and really the invitation for each of you. Number one, most importantly, you got to get clear on what it's worth to you. Okay. The position. Take out location. Doesn't matter. Rural, in the middle of the city, somewhere in between. Doesn't matter. Okay. What is the position worth to you? The second thing is, if you don't already have a strong culture, how can you build a strong culture that will attract and retain all the right people? And then the third piece being that leadership element. How can I put myself in a position where I am clear on my direction? I'm clear on the direction and the purpose of every person in my organization. I'm able to give them that direction and hold them accountable. And together, we all win together. All right. That's all I got for you guys. If you're not using Contractor Plus right now, you're doing yourself a disservice. This is by far the most powerful contractor platform on the market. And I don't just say that because we're here as partners. I say that because I've seen the proof. Proof is in the pudding. All right. But you guys know what time it is. If you're in the hiring process right now, if you just hired, doesn't matter. Those 3 things, get clear on them. Guarantee you're going to start attracting and retaining better employees. All right. You know what time it is. It's time to get after it. 3, 2,